not green for glory. It was the new year on the island of Sodor. With the holiday season over, everyone went back to work. All businesses that had closed down for the holidays reopened, including the quarry at the end of Thomas's branch line. The engines were glad to be back at work and were looking forward to seeing what 2025 will bring. One morning on the 3rd of January, Thomas and his friends were still in the branch line shed when his driver came up to him. He was holding a letter in his hand. "Here, Thomas, look at what was in the post today." It was a late Christmas card, with a picture of a steam engine on the front. Inside were the words, "To Thomas and all his friends, Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year, love from Britt." "I knew she wouldn't forget," said Thomas. "Who's Britt?" asked the new engine. "Britt Allcroft is a friend of the North Western Railway," replied Toby. "She was a TV producer and one of the people that helped put Sodor on the map." "She turned the Reverend's books into a TV series," added Thomas. "She used to come to the island for research for the show. She spoke to all of us and became friends with all the engines." "Not all of us," came a voice. It was the Lady of Tidmouth. But before anybody could ask, she puffed away to work. "Is she okay?" asked the engine. "Let's just say she's not a fan of Britt," replied Thomas. Lady went straight to work. It was her turn to do the quarry run, but she wasn't very happy. "Friends to all engines indeed," she grumbled. "Two-faced, that's what she is." "Calm down, lady," said her driver. "I'm sure it's just a misunderstanding." "Not to me," she said to herself. Sodor still uses the old semaphore signals on its railway, but with modern technology to make them very reliable. But today, the signals on Thomas's branch line weren't working properly. The snow and ice had got into a signal box's electrics and damaged it. Workmen were trying to fix it, and the signalmen had to change the points manually with the old cables. Toby was the first to pass through the signals with the milk train. He passed with 2 milk tankers, and the signaller tried to set the signal to red. But the cable was old, and the cold made it weak. The cable broke, and the signal stayed green. But nobody knew. Soon Lady came down the line with the quarry tracks. She saw the green signal and passed right through. "Oh no," said the signaller, and he rushed to phone the next station. "Stop, lady! She's passed a broken signal." "Leave it to me," said the station master. At Maythwaite Station, Toby had stopped at the platform. The station master came out and was about to speak to Toby's crew when they heard Lady's whistle. The station master ran to the platform edge and waved a red flag. Lady saw the flag and Toby's tankers. "Stop!" Lady's driver applied the brakes, but it was too late. Lady hit the tanker and milk went everywhere. Luckily, no one was hurt, but Lady felt very foolish. The new engine was at Tidmouth Yard when she heard the news. "Is everyone all right?" she asked. "Yes, but she's off the tracks," said the yard manager. "Take the breakdown crane and help clear up the mess." Soon the new engine arrived at Maythwaite and helped the workmen clear the mess. Lady was soon back on the tracks, but her fire had gone out, so the new engine took her back to the yard, while Toby stayed to help clear the mess. In Tidmouth Yard, her crew began to clear up the milk. The new engine backed into the siding next to Lady. "Are you all right?" asked the new engine. "Just feeling low," Lady replied. "I wasn't focused on my work because you lot were all talking about Britt Allcroft." "Would you like to talk about it?" said the engine. "All right," she said, and started to explain everything. "You see, I met Britt Allcroft in the late 90s. She was doing some research for the first Thomas and Friends movie. When she heard my story, she was interested. I told her everything, from me coming to help build the tracks of the Tidmouth, Knapford and Elsbridge Railway, to me being found hidden in Alstead. She loved my story and said she wanted to use it in the film. But when the film came out, she turned me into a magical engine that ran a magic railway. That movie didn't get a single thing about me right. And the worst thing was, she didn't even come back to explain it to me. I'm sorry, but there must be more to this story. From what I've heard of Britt, she liked all of Sodor's engines. Why don't you talk to Thomas about it? He seems to know her the most. Lady thought about it and decided it would be the best idea. That night, Lady and the new engine returned to the branch line sheds. Thomas and Toby were already there. They didn't look happy. What's wrong? Asked the new engine. Thomas looked up from his buffers. We've just heard some bad news. It's Britt Allcroft. She's passed away. They just broke the news today, said Toby. All the engines felt sad after hearing the news, but Lady felt very guilty indeed. As the engines fell silently to sleep, snow began to fall softly from the sky. Sad times were ahead for Sodor.